United States Special Operations Forces captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, in a pre-dawn raid in Caracas on January 3, 2026. The couple now faces federal charges in the United States related to narco-terrorism and drug trafficking. President Donald Trump announced the capture from his Mar-a-Lago estate, detailing the military action that involved over 150 aircraft. This unprecedented operation marks the first time in decades a sitting foreign leader has been seized by U.S. forces and brought to American soil to face criminal charges. The event immediately triggered a political crisis in Venezuela and drew sharp international condemnation, raising questions about sovereignty and the future of the oil-rich nation. The U.S. military operation, officially named Operation Absolute Resolve, saw elite Delta Force units execute the raid on Maduro's compound in Caracas. President Trump confirmed the operation, stating that Maduro was heavily guarded within a presidential palace described as a heavily fortified military fortress. U.S. forces, prepared with specialized equipment like blowtorches for steel walls, encountered resistance but secured Maduro and Flores, who reportedly surrendered. Following their apprehension, the couple was flown by helicopter to a U.S. warship, the USS Iwo Jima, before being transported to New York. The mission, which involved extensive planning and rehearsals, was given final approval by President Trump on Friday at 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, stated that the forces had studied Maduro's habits for months to ensure the operation's success. Nicolás Maduro and Cilia Flores face a range of serious charges in the Southern District of New York. These include narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. The indictment against Maduro was initially unsealed in March 2020 during the first Trump administration, alleging his role in a scheme to import thousands of tons of cocaine into the United States. A new indictment unsealed on January 3, 2026, added charges against his wife, Cilia Flores. Prosecutors accuse Maduro of leading the Cartel de los Soles, a drug trafficking organization composed of high-ranking Venezuelan officials, and of partnering with international drug traffickers. The U.S. Department of State had increased the reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest to $50 million by August 2025. In the immediate aftermath of the raid, Venezuelan authorities condemned the U.S. action as a violation of national sovereignty and demanded proof of life for Maduro and Flores. Vice President Delcy Rodríguez initially appeared on state television, asserting that Maduro remained the only president of Venezuela and calling for his immediate release, despite President Trump's earlier statement that Rodríguez had been sworn in as acting president. She initially defied this claim. However, the Venezuelan Supreme Court later ordered Rodríguez to assume the role of acting president to ensure administrative continuity. The government called the U.S. operation an imperialist attack and urged citizens to take to the streets. The political landscape in Venezuela is now in flux, with questions arising about the stability of the regime and the potential for a power vacuum. The international community reacted with alarm to the U.S. military intervention. The United Nations expressed deep concern, stating that the escalation constituted a violation of international law. Leaders from various countries including Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, and Mexico voiced shock and concern, with some criticizing the U.S. action as illegal and a breach of sovereign territorial rights. President Trump, however, defended the operation, stating that the U.S. would run Venezuela temporarily to facilitate a safe and judicious transition. He also indicated plans for U.S. oil companies to invest in and fix Venezuela's oil infrastructure, aiming to sell large amounts of oil to other countries. This move signals a significant shift in U.S. foreign policy, with implications for regional stability and the future of Venezuela's vast oil reserves.